Hello everyone and welcome back to Zielonka. This is the multiplayer co-op with Nordic farming and we've reached episode number 8. We've woken up this morning to find the shed empty, and that's because the small planters have been taken out of here because Nordic's cousins have been busily getting the planting underway, and it looks like, oh yeah, we've got red beets in here, so we're changing the crop over from what grew in this field in our first season. And yes, one of Nordic's cousins busy planting red crops in here. They've got a long way to go. And I can see over yonder in the distance, Nordic's other cousin is busy planting parsnips. So we have switched the fields over on the smaller fields. But first thing this morning is Nordic and I are going to get on to some ridge making yet again. We have one field, one of our newest fields, the larger ones, that still has ridge making required. And once we have done that, we've got all 3 fields ready for us to plant with some bigger planters. And yes, we have checked the crop calendar and it seems like we can actually plant all 3 crops this month, April. So that is going to be good news for us. It will mean that the root crops are all growing at the same time, but they might be ready to harvest at different times. So if we take a quick look at the map, we can see Nordic's cousins busy working on 52 for red beets and 54 for parsnips. We need to ridge make in field 89 and then we will get to planting. I think we're going to put parsnips in 86 and 87, red beets in 88 and then carrots in 89. We will head on over to that last field that needs the ridges. That's the one that's white because the lime is still on it from when we scattered the lime last month. Yeah, we can get unfolded. Right, so we can switch on and lower away. Got the first waypoint set, so that is good. We will get the second waypoint set because GPS is on, and then we can get to work efficiently. Lifting up, holding up, and that's the ridges all made. So all 3 fields are ridged and ready to plant now. And it seems like Nordic's cousins are actually ahead of the game, really, because they have beaten us to getting started with planting. Fair enough, they do have smaller fields to manage, but yes, we've got a bit of catching up to do. So we'll park up the ridge markers, and then it's over to the dealership, the store, where we can buy the new 6-meter wide planters. So they're going to be as wide as these ridge makers. Now Nordic and I were just debating whether we should switch back to some of the older tractors for planting, because I think we only need a small amount of horsepower even for the 6-meter planters. But we've opted to stay in these Fendt because they have GPS. and that is going to make our lives a little bit easier and also more accurate with the planting. So yes, it is going to be the fence running the planting show. Yes, Nordic has dropped off the ridge maker, and we can do the same. Skip over the road to the dealership, and whilst I apply the planters, I think Nordic is going to see if we can get some narrow tyres fitted on these tractors. So we've added in some more funds from Calmlands, and we are going to be getting the larger planters. This is the Kavorka Mini Air Nova Fold. Can take 32 litres of seeds, needs 70 horsepower to run it. This is why we were potentially looking at running some of the older tractors on the planters. And it's 6 metres wide, so that is pretty good going. 51,500 each, and we need 2. And here they are, the lovely new planters. And of course we have taken quite a lot of money out of our Calmlands bank account, so we will have to inspect the damage when Nordic and I do work our way back to Calmlands once we're finished here at Zielonka. So Nordic has informed me we can indeed get narrows on these tractors, so let's head on round the back and ask the kind worker at the dealership to flip us over to some narrows, please. So we need to switch to Trelleborg and narrow tyres, and it's $1,000, not too bad to be honest. There we go. Oddly the tyres look brand new compared to the tractor, which is all covered in lime, but I'm sure these tyres will get dirty, so yes, not to worry, they will all match fairly soon. Right, we can pick up our planters, and the narrow tyres are going to help us to drive through the ridges which we've made in all the fields, so we won't be damaging those as we are driving. Planter attached, and I think we are going to want parsnips first for the R field, which is actually 2 fields merged into one, but we do need to go and grab some seed, so we will go and do that. Open the covers, and it should just be a quick refill. Oh, I've bumped into the tank, that is not good. A very quick refill. Journeying over to the first field, and I think one of Nordic's cousins has finished. I'm guessing he's coming back to start on the next field when he's ready, but he's kindly left the tractor in a blocking place for us. Thank you very much. And there we go, Nordic's cousin has returned, and he's now putting carrots in this field, which is good news. And once they have grown, we will of course have to spray those fields. But Nordic and I really do need to catch up and get on with some planting. Here we go. So we can switch on, lower away, and we should be able to get planting. And it's parsnips first, and then we'll be moving on to the next field. And we'll do red beets in there. And then the last field is where we will put the carrots. So let's get this all planted in. GPS off, raise up, and switching off the planter. There we go. And we can get folded up. Parsnips all planted, which is good news. Just going to scurry back down this track here. Oh, actually, I think I need to go the other track because otherwise it's going to take me a long way around. We need to refill the planter now so we can get on to the next field to plant the red beets. And I seem to recall that parsnips didn't use up much seed, but red beets did. So I wonder if we're going to make it through the whole field without needing to refill the planter. Right, so in terms of what Nordic's cousins are looking after, we've got the field to the right drilled with red beets, and the field to the left being drilled with carrots. He's probably over halfway through now, and then the far field has got the parsnips in, so that is pretty good. You can open up the covers, get the seed restocked in here. There we go. Very quick job because it only takes a small amount of seed, and the seed in the planter seems to go a long way. We'll give Nordic a toot to follow his lead and head on back out to the next field. And I think the plan is that hopefully we're going to get all 3 fields planted. Got 1 out of 3 planted. And once they are all planted, I think that's going to be job done for today. And we're probably going to jump ahead to the next month once they have germinated and we can do some fertiliser spraying. Right, red beets selected. We can unfold, line up next to Nordic. He's leading the way on this field. And we'll try and line up as best we can next to him with GPS. So let's switch on, lower away. And yes, I think we want to line up our edge just over slightly. And then set our waypoints. GPS off. We can lift up and switch the planter off, fold it away, and that is the red beets all planted as well. Now, it is worth noting that we were chewing through the seed like anyone's business, so we did have to refill, I think it was 2 times by my count. Oh yes, Nordic's cousin does like leaving machinery in the way, so I'll have to just cut across there. But the red beets are all in. We used quite a lot of seed. We were debating as to whether we could get some sort of front hopper for the tractor to replace the weight and have some extra seed in. But yeah, I think the red beets is the only crop that seems to use up a lot of seed. So now we are switching over to carrots, which I think we can actually just journey down here for, to be fair, because it is the field that is furthest towards the road, and I'm going to be turning on over here. Let's get the beacons on because we are on the road. Need to make sure the traffic is aware of us, and then we want to be turning left down here again to our third field that is nearest this plant slash factory that is still unknown. Don't know what it does, but let's head into the outer view so we can line up nicely for planting the carrots. Beacons back off again, unfold, and get the GPS all set. So I think we'll line up here. There we go. Make sure that the leftmost planting arm is lined up with the top of the ridge. There we go. Switch on, and we can lower away and set the cruise. There we go. And then for GPS we want to just set the waypoints, making sure we are lined up quite nicely. Need to make sure I keep lined up because otherwise we are going to end up going off. We can set the other waypoint and start the GPS. There we go. I think we are lined up quite nicely. So carrots are going in now, and yes, after this field I think we're going to have time left to probably skip ahead to May, where all of our crops would have germinated and we can get them all fertiliser sprayed. But let's get this done first. Carrots are in. We can fold up because we are done, and that's all 3 fields planted now. And good news is that we have some time remaining, so I think Nordic and I are going to move ahead to May and get the once germinated fields all sprayed up. Yes, we will have to come and park up some of this equipment because it is left in the way, unfortunately. But yes, we are going to move ahead to May and then get the sprayers ready and spray all of the fields. In fact, I don't think we're going to spray the smaller fields. We'll just spray the big ones that we've been operating on and then leave the spraying of the smaller fields to Nordic's cousins. Right, we really do need to place another shed down here. I think that's going to have to be one aim of probably the next session or something like that, where we finally get this new shed put in. Right, there we go. That needs to just be dropped off there. Yeah, we are kind of leaving a lot of equipment on the edge there, hoping that no one's going to nick it. Right, let's get the Fent parked up because we are not going to be using this for spraying. We are probably going to be using some of our older tractors, which will be nice because we've used the Fent quite a lot in the last 2 months. So let's just park it up here. It's looking rather dirty. So there we go. All 6 fields drilled. We have got red beets in 52 and 88, carrots in 53 and 89, and then parsnips in 54 and 86/87. And if we take a look at the growth, they're all in the first growth stage, and they are all at the primary level of fertilisation. So we need to move ahead to the next month so they germinate, and we can then spray them for the secondary level. So Nordic and I are going to hang out until May, and we'll see you then. And we are in May. Nordic and I have been chilling out a little bit at the end of April, but now it's on to spraying. So we are going to be getting in the small tractors. I'm going to take the Zeta 2511. I think Nordic's going to hop in the Volvo. Oh yes, a nice little chug. It's nice to get these old tractors out because, yep, when we move up the scale of farming, we then sort of forget about the smaller tractors, but luckily our sprayers are nice and small in size, so we can use those for the fertilising. And you'll see that the crops have all germinated to the right and have sprouted. So that is the same for all of our fields. Now our sprayers are in here. I think we'll have to just nip in, grab them both, and probably refill them. There we go, yep. At 65%, so we'll need to refill both of these. And then we are going to get our big fields sprayed. And once we're done, we'll then leave the tractors and sprayers for Nordic's cousin to come along and spray. Or cousins, I should say, plural of. But I think we need to get the cover opened, if there is one, and fill up. I think it's this one. Yep. There we go. Nice and quick. So let's head over to the first field. Red beets to the left, carrots to the right, and then our parsnips are on the far field just up here to the right. And then on our bigger fields, straight ahead, the leftmost has our parsnips, middle has our beets, and right has our carrots. But we're going to start in the leftmost, and I think we're going to try and get all 3 fields sprayed in one go. We will probably have to come back and refill with fertiliser, as we're not going to have enough to go through all fields, I don't think. Right, I think we'll get that unfolded, and I'm just going to see about raising it up slightly if we can, because it probably needs to be a little bit higher. There we go. Right, and I want to make sure I'm lined up so I'm getting all of the edges, so I'm in the wrong row. I need to move over one. There we go. Fantastic. Right, I think we're rowed in, so we can start the sprayer and head off. There we go. And we are fertilising to the secondary level. So we're going to get this all sprayed, and we'll see you when we're finished. sprayer off, folding up, and that's all 3 fields sprayed now, which is good news. We'll have to jet back and refill, and I think refilling was most certainly one of the more frequent things we had to do during that job. I think we had to refill once per field, so yeah, that was quite a few refills there. And with the width of the sprayer, we did end up leaving a few rows on the ends of the first 2 fields that we sprayed, just because it didn't make much sense to waste the full spraying width on a very small channel that just needed spraying. So it's not going to maximise the yields for that field, but it's pretty negligible because we have got quite a lot of crop in those larger fields. Right, we're parking up here because we are going to refill, and then Nordic's cousins are going to come and pick up the tractors for spraying the smaller fields. There we go, Nordic's cousin is away working in this field and also in this field, getting it all nicely sprayed up. But that is it for today. Hope you have enjoyed watching. If you have, remember to drop a like and subscribe. If you've got any tips, tricks or things you'd like us to do, then feel free to leave a comment. But all there's left to say is hope to see you again next time on Zielonka, and until then, we'll catch you later. Cheers all, bye bye.